Testing. That should work now. It wasn't working the entire time. I've been muted for the last, how long? 10 minutes. Okay, I mean, that's not the worst. The worst is the day I was muted for the entire stream and no one notified me until like the third hour in. That was great. Okay, to be fair, there were like 2 people watching that day, so I can't get that mad. Hello, welcome. I have new setup, I have new emotes, I have new shenanigans. I have a new overlay. There I am, yep. Yep, I got new emotes. Everyone should have access to them if you're subbed. Introducing channel points. I know how channel points work. But yeah, here are the new emotes. Moon, which was previously the tier 2 emote, now it can be the tier 1 emote. And new one for fans of the slime is I did art, and it is awful. I made art. You can laugh at me all you want. I'll only feel a little bad. Anyways, this is pissing off every entire world. Still don't know what emotes are. Emotes are like the thing. Yeah, I made a slime for you guys to select. If you click on the smiley face to the right of the conversation, you should have the ability to use little tiny pictures called emotes. Yep. Slime. Yep. You only have access to those if you are subbed, for the record. If you ever lose your subscription, you lose the access to the emotes. Although you still have access to the default emotes, which is something. Ouch. Not good, not good. Thank you for going through them all. Ah, not good, not good. You can also pay channel points to use emotes. That is correct. You just only have access to them for 24 hours per Twitch's rules. I can't change that, unfortunately. But yes, thank you for pointing that out. I had forgotten to mention that. That is how a friend of mine uses it to steal my emotes. They just pay 24 points and they're like, oh, look, emote for 24 hours. Fire is... I feel like these were designed to teach you about how fire works, and dead. Nah, whatever. I'll live. The big thing I should actually do someday is add a little bit more detail. So, for example, add like stuff for when people subscribe, so they have different subscriber icons as the default star. That's on my agenda. Also on my agenda is an actual channel trailer, which would be a good thing to have. There's still one left. Two left. Oh. Looks good with glasses. Ah, nice. Yeah, it actually looks better with glasses. That's impressive. Ow. Ow, oh, that was my fault. I mean, clearly I got hit, so clearly my fault, but still. Oh crap, why are you hiding? This 3D angle is not great for all fights. Can occasionally lead to problems. That fire just keeps going. I'm in trouble. It seems not to do too much damage, to be honest. Ow. Or, oh, I know why it doesn't do as much damage. It's because I've upgraded my strike more than I've upgraded my magic. That's why. Also note that I cannot get back up. Stabby, stabby. I'm going to die if I don't get out of here right now. Crap, I need to cancel it. I need to actually hit them or nothing's gonna happen. They only die if I hit them, otherwise they couldn't... Because they seem to stop and they run away from you when I stab them, which is really great for slowing them down. With the unfortunate side effect that if I miss, I'm in trouble. But to be fair, that's most enemies in most games. If you miss, you're in trouble. So the solution, don't get hit. And don't miss. Both very good solutions. Also, how's the overlay? How's that look? Okay, 500. I said to do a bit more embracing of the fact that we discussed history so much around here. It's like, let's just run with it. Even if I'm not actually a historian, let's just run with the whole discussing of the thing, because that's a lot of fun. Alright, I think I have properly slaughtered everything that lives. Did I miss anything? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Nothing left alive to breathe. I had another one originally, but it was a little long. But it is, I'll do every stream I'll have a different one, just for the fun of it. And he fell into the water, that's perfect. I don't think I get any points for that. And to be fair, it won't always be a history fact. Like, it might be a science fact or just a something other fact, but it's like, most likely it'll be history more often. Let's be real. I know me. I have a sucker for history. Can't go up there, so the question is, do I go up the ladder? I feel like up the ladder is a dead end. Let's try that first. And also, I find that is a popular misconception, because everyone's like, oh yeah, 300, because of that one movie by the one director dude, what's his face? The one who did Batman v Superman. And also did, what's it called? Watchmen. I believe it's the same one, because yeah, it's famous because he apparently has been very famous for doing comic book crossovers, a lot of which tend to be relatively controversial, including Watchmen, which was not the most well received by fans. Some liked it, some didn't. But also including, obviously, he did 300, and it's like, well, that's not the most historically accurate movie ever. To be fair, it was based on a comic that wasn't very accurate. Because, yeah. It was not simply 300 well-trained, muscular shield men going on facing off against millions upon millions. Especially because the millions upon millions number was actually what the Athenians, or the Spartans themselves said, of here is what totally happened. And best as we can tell, that's not the case. Totally not what happened. Alright. Yes, if you give me the right history topic, I will rant for a while. And to be fair, I also figured that's a safe one to start with, because it won't really cause any arguments, because there aren't really too many, like, people that are alive that are, well, Spartan. Because there are some history facts that will probably be like, wait, I'm going to argue with that fact, because I don't agree with it. So I figured I'd start with one that's hardly controversial, because no one left alive as part of that culture. Spartan is kind of, gone. So there's no one alive to be like, but the Spartans, they were the best! Okay, people will still do that. I know people who will heavily defend the Spartans. Also, yes, this is 100% conversation I'm carrying on, just because of all I'm doing is running back and forth to get more stabbing power! Stab better! Okay, these guys die in 2 hits now rather than 3. Instant good upgrade. Do these die in 1? Yes! Murder! Die! I have a problem. Oopsies. Didn't mean to do that. I have to do this. That's my mute button, isn't it? That's my mute button. Yes. Stab every day. Oh, wait, no. I want this one. Okay, that does burn, but does it do anything? I don't think so. Oh well. Yes. Okay, good. So I chose the right way to go first. Beautiful. Ah! Fart. You suck! Go away! Nobody loves you. Not even your mother. Screw you. I think I died. Okay, that one wasn't for real. This one is. Okay, that guy dies in 2 hits, as does that one, but when I find another one shortly in, he dies in 3. Is it random? Or, no, these are different enemies, that's right, that's why. Those are the tougher enemies. Tougher variations of the exact same foe. Practice round. For the Spartans, they were the best. You're so dumb for not thinking so. Ha ha ha, you're funny. Did you know, fun fact, the Spartans lost to the Macedonians who went on to conquer them and rule all of Greece? Take that, immortal, invincible warrior culture. Yeah. But that is part of the problem, is most of the record we have of how badass the Spartans were was a combination of the Peloponnesian War and a bunch of anecdotal accounts that talk about how the Spartans won all these wars in the past, but we have no records of those actually occurring. The problem where most of our records of Sparta were kind of written after the fact. So a lot of the whole how powerful the Spartans were is based on wars that they fought in the past before the histories actually take place, that we actually have record of. But to be fair, that also just comes down to the fact that a lot of what we consider history in regards to Greece wasn't the same as modern history. In particular, very, very biased. Glad you enjoyed Goomba. Goomba happy too. So I went with Piggy today in honor of the fact that Piggy unfortunately cannot be with us because Twitch, for some reason, approved Slime immediately, but 28 hours later still hasn't approved Piggy. It might just be that Slime was obviously just like crappy art and Piggy is a picture and photographs might rank differently. I don't know. History is written by the people that wrote stuff down. Well, specifically written by people that wrote stuff down and that the stuff was saved by later generations. But yes. Alright. I've killed everything. Twitch hate pigs. That is also possible. Twitch might just have an anti-pig bias. Oh, I'm an idiot. Alright. Kill more of these bastards. And miss. Let's try again. So much easier to kill when I do more damage, gotta say. Weird how that works. There. Perfect. And can't get up there because I can't jump. We have a very negative, vicious view of the Vikings, indeed, because they didn't write down any history, at least that we're aware of. And the history that we do have of theirs came later, because they just didn't have much of a written culture. So the histories we do have are of Britain, who is thoroughly convinced the Vikings are the worst, most evil things ever. Whereas, in fact, the Vikings not only had a lot of tactics that were not uncommon at the time, just good shock value tactics, but rather interestingly, the Scandinavians in general had a lot of contact with other people in the region, such as how they worked with Byzantium as mercenaries, and were hired as Royal Guard, kind of the same way that the Swiss became known for later. Scandinavian mercenaries, I believe, specifically from Finland/Sweden, were pretty popular. Here you guys go, slimes, little slimy boys and girls and other slimy slimes. We have record of their gold going, as far down as Northern Africa, to be honest. Ow! I look away from the screen for 10 seconds and boom, dead. But yeah, we have record of their trade going actually south through Germania, through a lot of the HRE, and yeah, all the way down south to the Mediterranean. So we know they did trading. We just don't have much written record of it, unfortunately. Because a lot of that time period, we don't have much written record of. For the number of reasons. I think, I just realized I should probably have flashing light on. Do we need flashing? I wonder if we need flashing light for this game. Is this... Because when we eat the flowers, there's a flashing light, but I'm not sure if there's any other. Okay, I'm a little busy here. Please get out of the way. Those are probably closer to peaceful Phonician merchants. Indeed. After all, it's not like you send out your warriors or your merchants to go kill people. You send out your warriors. The Vikings weren't just a warrior people group. They were a people group who sent their warriors to battle. Weird. And to be fair, also, there's the whole thing of calling them Vikings, when Vikings wasn't necessarily the culture. Viking is just the warriors, if they even call themselves that. So calling them a Viking people is kind of a misnomer. Looking at you, Age of Empires 2, and your Viking civilization. Of all the things that they still include in Age of Empires 2, this is probably the weirdest one to me. It should really be like Danes or Norwegians or something like that. Norse. Oh! Poison gas is what's hitting me, that's why. That's why I died last time. Well, most of why. Because it does damage after the fact. Alright. Might not survive this time, depending on what comes. Oh, frick nugget! You're a big boy. Or girl. Not judging. I just need you dead. Oh, every time I attack, it spawns babies. One of those mobs. Ow! That's long. That's a long range. Good to know. So it spawns. Whenever I attack it, it drops creatures off of it, and it also has an incredibly long range. Got it. Good to know. We are learning. And the worst of it is we still haven't even made it to the area we're supposed to go yet. We're still in the cemetery. Gender ambiguous rock creature. There we go. Alright, and then I believe, other than the mandatory first part, if I just walk around here, I don't gotta fight. So I choose to. I got full health and there's a refill coming out. I'm not worried about getting into a bit of a trap or a bit of cash. So from the looks of it, each one of them only drops one, so probably not worth it. Drew, thank you for the lurk. Welcome. I don't have a specific lurk command, but always good to see ya. I should implement commands like that someday. It's on my to-do list. But yeah, some kind of command where it's just for fun that I think could be fun. Yeah, I know, I just said fun like twice in a row, not bad. Ow! Forget how long your guys' range is. Thank you for killing your buddy. Appreciate it. Get out of there, because that poison gas is what kills me. Get out of there. Ow! I knew if I didn't kill him, he'd kill me, and he did. Don't hurt me. Ow. Get out of there. You fast one. You're a fast little critter. Kill the spawn. So it seems to just stalk me, but if I stop moving, that's what it goes after me. So specifically, for example, ow! I hate that it moves! And there we go, mini boss down. Nice. Ow. Let's get going. Let's take care of this quickly first. There we go. Get the door there first, so I don't gotta do it again, just in case something goes terribly wrong with these bastards. Speak of the devil. I should have gone and got the health pickup first. I knew I should have, but no, I can kill 2 of these. I'm fine. Bird is not pleased. You can tell the bird isn't pleased by how it reaches out and stabs everybody in the area. That does remind me. Let's switch weapons back. Bit of it as I use the Reaper's Sword. Reaper's Sword's a good weapon after all. A bit slower, but nice damage. Oh, it still only kills those guys. So it kills those guys still in 1 hit. Those guys in 3, so the damage must not be good enough to actually... Huh. How about these guys? AF. Yep, AF indeed. Killed a boss, died to the leftover babies. Stop jumping! Jumpy boy. Jumpy creature. Stop jumping. Rude. No jumping in my cavern. Yeah, I know. I should have used that last time. My bad. Climb up. Let's progress forwards. Hey, look! It's over there. I could fall down. Just through the door. I'll go here first because this area I can go back to. Whereas if I drop down there, I can't go back. What are these things? Huh. So I can't work with those yet. Need a different power-up I don't have yet, presumably. Oh, frick! Now I can go back all the way through the room. Perfect. Oh, that's not bad. I thought I was in the other room for a second. I was like, that would have actually been bad. This is not terrible. I thought I was in this room specifically. You found an old compass. It occasionally twitches in turns of its own whims. It's clearly very old. Perhaps the magnetism inside it has mostly worn away. Because that's how that works. Okay. Was this just a bonus area and not the way to go at all? I'm beginning to wonder if that's the case. Because I don't know if there's any further way to go. This may have been a bonus area. Because through here is this room that I can't progress through yet because it requires power-ups I do not have. Yeah, I don't have that angle. And that I need the bomb for, whatever the bomb does. Which I don't have yet. I'm sure there's some kind of like bomb arrow or something I'll get eventually. Nope, just barely. Oh well. And then this area just got me the compass, which I don't think does anything. I think that's just a piece of loot. Yep, shiny thing. Old compass. The compass occasionally twitches and turns by some strange whim, but it mainly appears to be drawn towards death's door rather than pointing north. It must have belonged to a legendary explorer who was searching for the legendary door. Can we actually see the front of it? Does it actually point anywhere? No, it just twitches. Okay, I can't tell. So yeah, I think this was just an extra area. Rip. In which case, dying might actually be the faster route out of here. Which is naturally why we're taking the slow route. And I can't even get out of here. Gotta go through that door. Shows what I know. I mean, to be fair, it got us some decent bonuses. Several hundred energy, and the compass. And that's about it, but hey, that's something. Eat the flower, eat the flower. Alright, let's head back. Stop hitting me. You too. Everybody stop hitting me. You're all dead. See, this is what happens when you hit me. Except, of course, for the ones who actually kill me. Yeah. So we know that's ours. Because I'm trying to remember, the problem is trying to remember the way back to Death's Door. Is time really a construct? It depends on your definition. For example, hours and minutes, as we define them with the time zones and stuff, is a construct of the British. Technically, multiple countries made it as a construct and had their own time zones. But is that time that has that effect? Or is that just thermodynamics has that effect, and we simply measure it using time? Is time actually the cause? Or is time simply what we call the measurement of said object? Because time itself is not the one that's doing the aging. At least last I checked, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Okay, that's the lab. And this is the Grove of Spooks, which I believe just takes me. This is the door I was supposed to go through in the first place. Assigned soul location. And yeah, I'll admit that that first question was definitely there to be a troll question. I am perfectly open to the idea that there is more legitimate answers than that. Time is fake. But it's kind of like the whole idea of mathematics as a construction, where it's like, technically speaking, we can calculate mathematics using what we know, but at the end of the day, to a certain degree, math is a system we use to understand how the universe works. Math, it's the question of, is math inherent to the universe, or is math just a construct we use to measure the universe? Well, yeah. What else would I be doing with my time? Hello. Second could be the right thing. Math is a human construct here. I lost a dear friend long ago and buried him under the moon's light. Ever since the day, I felt a piece of myself lost. What if I can ever feel whole again? Is that why you can't die? It's not the strength of the blow. Guarding the door, preserve order, and home destroy souls. No, somebody just said a second scamologist accepted it. And so it just begs the question of, is time just a function of mathematics or not? Or does time have an alternative, distinct meaning? Can't go there yet. Well, that's the problem, is we don't actually know why, because it was so long ago that the people who died have... Or the people who discussed it have kind of died. And we kind of can't ask them. Hello, bastard. Makes me mad. Incredible. You've already achieved more in this short time than I was able to in countless years. If you can reap the souls of the two giants, get up in death's door. I suggest you head east beyond the woods. Self-proclaimed king rules over the ruins of a flooded cathedral, tormenting the denizens of the forest. East. This way, presumably. No more seeds, can't do that. Don't have the power up to use teleporters yet. I'm pretty sure those look like teleporters. I'm pretty sure the last couple powers are gonna be like teleporter, grapple, and bomb are the three we're missing. Which is weird because we only have two, so one of them must not be energy mana consuming. My guess is that bomb probably consumes mana, teleport maybe, and then whatever the grapple and power up doesn't then. It's just an inherent thing we have assigned to a button I don't have yet. We'll see though. Base units seconds. Yeah. I'd look at that if I wasn't streaming. Seconds are now an SI unit. I don't know what that is actually. Is that programming related or is that something else? Okay, don't know how to get in there. Watch this be how you get in there. Nope, that's a ladder. Metric. Ah, okay. That I can see. That makes sense. Weird sense, but sense. Alright, this is where I had a battle beforehand that I kept dying. I remember because I keep dying here. So this was the battle right before we got to the Death's Door. Facing some physical effects of cesium atoms. Interesting. Fun fact, cesium is my favorite element. Why? Because it explosive reacts with water, and that's cool. But it's my favorite element that I was just younger, I read about. I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's been my favorite ever since. Spin the overgrown ruins. Even if technically speaking, it is not feasible to obtain for, like, anyone. There we go. Hello, I'm definitely getting Hollow Knight vibes now. Friend seems like cesium, but also radioactive. Yeah, that's fair. I prefer the not radioactive. Strong Hollow Knight vibes now, just creatures serving as transportation. Ah, that was a good creature. What was his face? The stag. Yeah, the stag beetle. That's what it is. The stag beetle. Great character. Thank you kindly. For the 22-minute half-life. 22 minutes and it is at half the power it was when it started. That sucks. Okay, gonna need to go through that door. Pretty new area. I love the color scheme. To be fair, pretty much anything looks better than what death looks like. Oh, what do you know? It's right up. Oi, oi, Baron Fur! Welcome, welcome! Welcome to Death's Door. Happy Earth go around the sun again. I can tell I've attracted the right audience when we've got a combination of time sucks and I hate it versus here's the logic behind time and happy, sarcastic, or a name for New Year's Day. Building the right community here. So it's even less easy to acquire. Yeah, that's fair. Because it's probably also not only really difficult to grab, but then even when you do have it, it's going to be dead pretty soon. Whereas cesium at least will stay active for a while. New Year's is a human construct, got that right. Overgrown ruins east of the door. Okay, that's how you grenade the bomb. Yes and no. Ooh, new door. Let's go through new door. Or I guess it's not really worth it, I only have 455, so... New enemy, plant thing... So what is your argument in regards to the concept of time as a construct? Where do you stand on this great, very important debate? Okay, I think I know what your attack pattern is, and I don't like it. Also, so many bombs. It's gotta be where I learn more with bombs. I love it. This is also back on the screen. Also, I had 2 left. Damn it, I could have done the 1. Ooh, what's that thing? I need probably to get it, so... Later up, later collectible. Us, calibrating the Earth thing, doing its thing as a human concept, Earth will do its thing without us. That is correct. So from that perspective, it's the argument I made with time, where time is a construct not because time as an item doesn't pass, but because our specific measurements of, like, seconds, minutes, hours, etc. are a human construct because they're how we define time. So although, from a certain point of view, time does pass, the specific measurements we use are indeed a human construct. Ow. Rude! And so New Year's Day would qualify under the same category because although the Earth does still rotate, the specific way of measuring how the Earth rotates in the form of the year is a human construct. Do I need to shoot you with fire? Okay, I can't do that. You're trying to make freezer taquitos and now you have me all mad about time. Sorry. You should make your taquitos. Taquitos are good. The only way to own francium is to get something radioactive that decays into it, ideally with a longer half-life. Taquitos are indeed legit. Are they the Aldi taquitos? I have much experience with Aldi taquitos. Aldi makes very good taquitos. Let me guess, that's the king? So don't piss that thing off because it's currently invincible. I wonder if it also needs bombs. Oh hey, it's the other side of this thing. Piss it off! Yeah, I think that's invincible to my current power set. That's a ladder. And I probably need to, if I had to guess, kill everything in the room to open that ladder. Unfortunately, I can't kill everything in this room. This is the way I came from. Need to bomb. Okay, our measurements, regardless of how I define them, does not nullify the fact that space-time is a fact of reality. Space, definitely. Time, definitely. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm specifically talking about the idea of measurement. So, for example, in reference to New Year's, that we call it that way, that makes sense. That yeah, it's a rotation of the Earth around the Sun, even if it's technically speaking not perfect. But to be fair, technically speaking, oh, I get it. There we go. Over here. That's what I'm supposed to do. By your own concentrated energy was freezer, but you know that's a later issue. Yes, they are. The people visiting for also only shop at Aldi. Yep. Aldi's great. I'm a sucker for Aldi. Oh, perfect. I needed this. And yeah, you're right that measurements don't nullify the existence of the item existing. Which is kind of why I had the question there, to be fair. Mostly just to inspire conversation. I know that space-time is a thing, but that time isn't. Yeah, I can see that. Also, now that I know how that thing works, what else can I blow up? Here, shoot over here. Nope, that's not blow upable, but this is okay. What is really going to take more time for something to happen? That would respawn all the enemies, not worth it. Also, I did it bad. I bought more games today. I'm bad. In my defense, they're probably good games. As a funny guy with silly hair once said, everything is relative. Was that an Einstein quote? Or is that another quote that people attribute to him? Because I'm guessing that's what you mean by funny hair guy. Oh, so you're a fire piranha. Yep, okay, that's what I'm wondering. Dang it, 4 away from the upgrade. Do I head back there and then kill a... Nah, keep going a little bit, get what I need, and then go kill. Ow. Shorthand quote for him, that's fair. They need fire by chance? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Nope, they're not immune to fire. Seed. So I get up there. And then I need this. This will make me another one of those, but I don't technically... Yeah, I got 2 seeds. Let's do it. And what I need... oh, okay, over here. Got it. When space I always thought of something that can be warped, taking a long time could just be like being further away. That is entirely true. Yeah, we're not actually going to do that quite yet. Almost. I'm going to do one thing first. I'm going to head back to the main thing and get the next upgrade. Since I have no idea when the next time I can return to the base is, I might as well do it now. Because I've got the move for it. Let's piss that thing off. Good for kicks. You can't subdivide space and time. They are one and the same. Not a physicist. True. Neither am I. I'm a businessman, so... By all rights, I should totally care about what time is. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Don't care about time. Time is stupid. For that. Like, business time is stupid, specifically. Oh, hey, look. It's the compass. And the incense. So, ball, electric creature combat abilities. Okay. Dexterity, faster charged melee and range attacks, and increases the speed at melee attack chaining. I barely use the charge, but charging my range attacks faster is nice. However, I think we're going to go damage with this. Are you... Oh, right, I'm too short. Alright. Let's go kill 2 things. At the end of the day, I'm just a simple person working at a bank. Ah, yes, you are playing a video game. I am? I didn't notice. Video games are just tools to have real conversations about everything else. Not that video games aren't real. Also, just excuse me, just gonna go collect your souls quickly, don't mind me. Almost forgot. History major with a philosophy minor, so what do I know? I was a business major with on a 3 different half minors that never happened in history, business, and mathematics, along with almost going for accounting, but studying against it because I didn't want to hate myself doing all the homework. You know one thing, though. Uh-oh. What do you know? Comp sci. All you need is love. Comp sci masters. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Someday I'll probably get my MBA, but I've changed my plans from originally. The whole idea behind the MBA I was getting originally had to do with the fact I was getting it for the influence to get into a company that I was actually more relevant than my previous one. But now that I'm at the bank that I'm at now, I don't really need that. So the influence is kind of less necessary. So I need to go for like a top tier MBA. I can just go for an MBA. Because despite what my previous coworker told me, no, MBA from Booth is not like amazingly better. All the teachers are automatically amazing god tier compared to cheaper colleges. It literally is just that you're paying for the influence of the Booth name. So it sounds like you more than you actually know. That's true. But isn't that anybody who gets a liberal arts education to a certain degree? Especially if you take a lot of extra courses in similar topics to each other. You suck. Fancy video game. World Have More Love would not be bad. Fancy video game verb is fancy. It's a good verb. It's very fancy. Death Battle. Death's Door Bird versus Goose Game Bird. And maybe throw Duck Game Bird in there too. It's good verb. I approve. Let us progress. What is the mission now? Could drop back down there, don't wanna. Well, I guess I'm dropping down here. Like the little bird lightsaber. It's a good lightsaber. Read sign. This way to the forest settlement. Settlement, eh? A new area to explore. I don't think we have one of those outside of death itself. Let's see what an area looks like here. Okay, it's invincible. No, it's not. Just good at dodging. Yes, I've seen the Raven Tengu persona, I believe. You posted the art channel on Coffee's channel, correct? Imagine going to college education. Not me. Stay safe, though, yo. To be fair, I graduated in 2016, so... It's been a bit. Well, I mean, you knew that, to be fair. Yeah, Hero Forge, yep. I know Hero Forge. I have a few friends who use the online version of it. I don't think I've known anybody who's actually bought minis from it, but I do know people who use it just to create things. Secret area. Create a shrine. Finally get another upgrade. Well, sorry. Yay. Oh, is that for mana? Trying to produce a shard from a magic crystal. 4 major bet. Oh, good. Ow. That was bright. Wish everyone here as much love as I have. You all deserve it. Thank you, Fur. Appreciate it. Was it really? Yes, I graduated 5 years ago. Hero Forge is cool, indeed. And I'm grateful to y'all for just being willing to hang out here and watch me play a bird game. Good bird. And yep, I was in 2016. Night Miner was 2020, and I don't even know what they call themselves. 2018. Yeah, it's been a bit since college, hasn't it? Bruh! Just explored the dungeons, but the forest sealed them up. No concept of time anyway. True. Later on when the tool comes on, don't have to price yourself. That is fair. If you're not actively using the minis for something, especially a group thing, then yeah, it's hard. I think I run like 2-3 sessions of D&D in like a year at this point, because everybody's all split up. Time is a lie! Associates 2014 did the trade school thing before that. That's cool. I know a few people who did trade school. And if you actually go into that trade, it's really useful. The only catch with trade school is the nicheness of it, but if you're into that niche, then it's valuable. The Frog King son of my brother until his insides became his outsides. You? Are you the Frog King? I've not seen your type in this land for a long time. You're probably here to see your friends in the depths below. Sorry, but the forest itself sealed the gates of the dungeons many moons ago to keep us safe. I could speak with her, and perhaps swear to open the gate for you. But we converse in song, and sadly, I've lost my magic horn. Long as trades with relative cheap, it's a good idea. Yeah. Well, it shipped together in Alaska from 8 to 11, made 300k. Total or a year? Either way, that's impressive. But if that's a year, that's really impressive. Left of the old camp to the north. Alas, we're driven there by the Frog King's henchmen. So the Frog King's a bastard. If you return to me, I'm sure we can help you on your journey. I just have a BS job now. Fuck around the internet and help my parents. Total. Nice. That is nice. Not a good trade. So I was about 100k a year. Yeah, that's really helpful. Like, especially with depending on the choices you make, you could easily live off that for a good amount of time. A lot of good and bad trade skills. Not wrong. The college I went to, one of their best years ever, the one time ever they had more students actually joining than the year before, was when one of those local for-profit trade schools shut down, and we inherited a lot of their students for one semester. Not how they are, folks. Yeah, I can see that. That's a good thing, if you're able to do that. You are going to help find Mother's Horn? Be wary of the Frog King and his minions. Sounds like the Frog King and I need to have words. If he sat on somebody so bad that they just squished to death, not him. I'm not the biggest fan. Hey there, you look like a fellow traveler. What brings you here? Did you come to learn the music of the Forest Children as well? What a shame it is that the Forest Elder lost their horn. I hope you find it soon so I can find the beautiful melodies. Has multiple sclerosis, diabetes, paid a lot of their med bills. Yeah, that could get pricey for both of those. Don't have much left. That's fair. They gave you life. Yep. Diabetes is, yeah, not very useful. What can you do? Yep. Diabetes is, yeah, not the kind of thing that this country is friendly towards, unfortunately. So that failed. That worked. Yay! And okay, back up here, so we have a shortcut back. Video games. Dang it. How'd I get the first time? Yeah, no idea. Usually immune to fire. Or does fire just stun it so that I can actually hit it? No, fire just does. Okay, it just takes 2 hits because my fire is weaker. That's why, okay. Look at me just being a bastard to things that don't even hurt me. I want to learn how to melt steel together while using ox torch to warm your feet so you don't lose your toes or frostbite. You can be just like me. Oh, it does hurt me if I'm not paying attention, you bastard. Never mind, I don't regret killing you. Die, bastard. I was like, oh, they don't even attack me. No, they totally do. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs that I'd be totally willing to do, but I'm not sure moving to Alaska is one of them. Little cold for my liking, as someone who likes the cold to a degree. What the? I was like, why did the music change suddenly? Oh, because things happen. Oh, this is an arena room. And I'm dead. Well, crap. As he just, like, dances on my body. Just sort of teabagging me. Like this is Halo 2. Yeah. Alright. Let's continue. To be fair, I own the Halo series now. Not that I have any interest in teabagging, but I do own that game series. I intend to play for the story at some point, because that sounds fun. This route used to lead to the swamp, but Frog King locked it up. You're like, Mother, you could probably break it down. Yeah, I'm betting that once I get the horn and I learn the song, I'll probably be able to get the bomb finally. Looks like I'm supposed to use that this section anyway. Who needs toes anyway? I have never played a Halo in my life. I have watched someone play Halo 2, Halo Reach, and Halo ODST. I'm mainly interested in it for the story. You don't know, called even -32 and finish your 14-hour shift. Exactly that. I don't want to know that if I don't have to. Oh no. Well, we might have a raid message now, to be fair. Also, I could have just went north. Good grief. Yeah, the only Halo I've seen is I've watched people play a couple of them, but I've never played one. However, I've heard good thing about the story, and I'm really interested in it. 100K a year, though, yeah. Or you just do what I do and go to a bank and work there for 2 years and get promoted. Like, at the bank I work at, if I can get promoted, my boss makes $140,000 a year. So, yeah. Story is cool, indeed. Same relative struggle. True. Oh, I'm noticing a pattern here. Yeah, tech is big for cash. The difference is, though, is I only got here because I have to, in order to do this, rather than just going to a relatively cheap trade school, I had to get a 4-year degree, and then I have to go do a 2-year thing where I'm only making, like, less than half that. And then it's only if they like me, they keep me. So it takes both more money and more of my life to reach that point, only to hope that I do that well. Tech can't be God here and get script in your sleep. Yep, that is definitely not me. I cannot script to save my life. I can use Excel. I can use SQL. I apparently you can now use SQL and Excel, which is cool. And that is kind of the limits of my programming skill, unfortunately. Not even that. Starting is like 80K. Yeah, depending on the area, I've heard. So I need to get up there. So I think, yeah, I went this way before I died. I can be like, get educated to make money, but also must get money to get education, but must get educated to make money. Yeah. Yeah, don't get me started. Be really average and still make a ton. Yeah, depending on the company, especially. You say. Like, I have a few friends who were immigrants from Pakistan who just came to the U.S. to get a degree here, and they're doing this way, the forest settlements. Oh, the other way, okay. They're doing fairly well, all things considered. I think that's actually about what they make. To be fair, I think the big thing is just having a skill that people need at the right time. Late stage capitalism. Alright. I already know there's gonna be... Oh, good. That's good. That's gonna be helpful whenever I'm about to die. Let's just say you're in the right stream if you want to complain about capitalism for a while. Indeed. Not that I entirely hate the idea of capitalism existing. The problem with capitalism is that it relies on businesses to be generous. To be fair, the problem with communism is it relies on the government to be generous, which isn't exactly that much better a prospect, so... Theoretically, some kind of system where things are set in stone to have some kind of available standards that theoretically helps people, but the problem is that you gotta agree when and how to adjust it, because those needs and standards are going to change over time based on everything from inflation to economic growth to everything else. Oh, camera vision. Communism are both fucked up. Yeah.
Never be generous. The problem is, the way that America's structure is worked, the government also isn't really going to be very generous because there's more incentive not to be. Which is unfortunate. Come to this country and tell me you want to live there. Yeah, we haven't really had any communist country that's ever actually managed to do well. And there's debates, I know, as to whether or not that's because communism is actually going to always be the problem or not. But to be fair, there's a bunch of capitalist countries I'd also not prefer to stay in. Like, the US ain't exactly my first choice at the moment. But I also know it, which helps, as opposed to some countries that I don't know. For example, I would not much care to be in Britain right now because everything that's going on over there. Powerful will never be generous, unfortunately. See, feudalism. There's business is bad business, which incentivizes making money at any cost, pretty much. Especially because the real problem is a lot of people within the business who aren't even interested in helping the business. This way, the forced settlement, yep. Their main goal is to help themselves. Because that, and you have even worse. Because it's bad enough when it's the business who's at fault and being businessy things, but when the people are also causing problems, it's always been greed. You mean mine? All it is. Oh, I mean mine, okay. Me, mine. The idea that I need to have more than any individual other person. Which will pretty much always confuse me, the idea of billionaires who still feel the need to, that they need to keep making more money. Like a thing I was reading recently about tax law and certain tax benefits that were designed for small businesses that are really helping businesses with their IPOs if they give out the taxes in the right way. It's a serious exploit that basically makes a ton of money for people, but it only makes money for those who are already wealthy enough to be able to pass along that wealth. Okay, so that's where it was. How do I get back over there? Seriously, that's how close I was? Good grief. Nope, that don't work. That's a bomb thing I gotta get up to. Ends with wealth being accumulated, say communism ends with wealth being accumulated. Pretty much. The only difference is what the best ways to get it are. Distributionism is basically I have never heard of that, actually, as a concept. I'm sure it exists, I've just never heard of it. Distributionism. Oh, good grief, that's a link that broke. Yeah, I don't think that the system knows what to do with that link. Okay, that's gonna... Yeah, there's definitely a grappling hook power-up gonna be later in the game, for sure. Okay. Do you have the range? Not that far. Also, I think I missed out on a battle arena right there. Do you have this range? Yes. Never be equal. Just distribute the means of production. Extra thing. That is the cynic view for sure. Whether it's the correct view, I'm not one to say, because I've never seen it. I won't rule it out as completely impossible, but I will state that I have never actually seen it, so that makes it hard. Is this a battle arena? Maybe not, this is just a landscape, okay. Cool. Great. Oh, hey, look, what do you know? Another one. Nice. But we can't fit through that gap, you said. At the end of the day, what it really comes down to is I'm not sure we really understand human nature enough to actually say this is impossible, because we still don't even know the limits of what humans have done or are capable of. And we've also just lost so much of history, including stories we have of relatively more generous or polite societies. But we're still unsure if they're completely true or not, because we just don't have records of how they existed or what they did, because all things considered, a lot of that information is just gone. Evolve or devolve. If a government only makes inequality worse. But at the same time, I'm not sure anarchy really solves the problem, because government, although government doesn't necessarily make everything better, lack of government doesn't really make it better either. Because the people themselves will sometimes be unequal. And it leaves no recourses for those who are too weak to survive without it. Battle arena. I was wondering where it was. Oh, okay. Nice, thanks for the help. Appreciate it. Where are you gonna pop up, you bastard? You did. Anarchy would make it, yeah, it would not be great on that end. Those guys can jump? Did I miss that? Must have missed it. Hey, Kim, walking to your house, putting a thing, skull, and taking your stuff's okay. Yeah, that is the problem. And I will agree that there is, technically speaking, a middle ground to a certain degree between pure anarchy and pure, what's it called? Like, governmental control. There's definitely a middle ground between those two things. I don't disagree there. We got a lot of distance to make up now, don't we? Sucky. There is indeed, yes. The trick is finding it and then maintaining it. Like the ideas behind supply and demand side economics is theoretically there's a middle ground. The problem is A, finding it, and B, the fact that it isn't necessarily the best for everybody. That was my flaw, but back when I used to think of the free hand of the market's always the best thing because the government always fixes it. The money always fixes itself. The economy does. Like, I failed to take into account that at the end of the day, it might be the best from a monetary point of view, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best from a humanitarian point of view. Those are two very different things. What's best for the economy isn't necessarily what's best for the people within the economy, essentially. Yeah, I'm in trouble. Decentralized rule poses the threat of wealth accumulation. Yes, that is true. Simply by having people in power, then there's the problem of those people can theoretically abuse that power by keeping money. Which is why theoretically the correct answer would involve some degree of checks and balances so that there is no such thing as completely centralized rule. The idea of decentralized rule, such that some people are in charge, but other people are in charge of them, and other people are in charge of them, and it balances out. Of course, the problem with that is it ends up getting too complicated for larger entities, which is why the problem with large nation states becomes, how do you balance all the people? Look at fascism. Particularly the new centralized rules, see feudalism. Not wrong. New strategy. Don't actually attack, just piss these things off. And let everybody follow me around. There we go. Stabby, stabby, stabby. He's not dead. Stabby. I'll read the chat in a moment. These are my worst sections, so I'd rather get these killed as fast as possible. Because these are the sections that always get me. Yeah! That was awesome. Needs to be firmly entrenched, decentralized rule. Yes, agreed. And the biggest problem is at the end of the day, it needs to be solid enough that no one can just easily dismantle it, but also it needs to be mild enough that it's moldable, yeah, because it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect the first time, or the second, or the third, or anything else like that. That's not possible. New centralized rule 99 times out of 100 leaves with some kind of fascism. The fact that the US has gone as long as it has without actually developing into proper fascism is impressive, because at the end of the day, it still technically has it. We've had abuses of the system, but we still haven't had a single ruler who got everything that they wanted without question, with the military enforcing it. There have still been limits even to that. It's not impossible that it could happen in the future if enough people went along with it, but I would still argue that we have not had a fascism. We may have had people who had desire of fascism. I would say we had presidents who desired such control, but none of them, I would say, have accomplished it, is my perspective. None have been completely capable of it yet. Huh, nothing in there. Interesting. Because there's just a way down, I guess, if I want to head back. Yeah, okay, that's just a way down. Let's organize that door. Okay, let's go up here, and that's a boomy boom. I can't do the boomy boom. Okay, that's possible. To be fast. Long and short of it is we especially be greedy, never be able to have fast enough to have any true equality. And that's where I'm not sure that I'd agree. I know that for sure at the moment that's not, especially because that seems to be the basis for a lot of what animals do, but I'm not sure I'd agree that it's impossible. Only that we've never seen it, which is not enough by itself to say that it's not possible. Only to say that we haven't seen it. But at the end of the day, to say it's not possible for me would to mean completely giving up the idea of it ever happening, which doesn't leave me much that I actually want to keep fighting for as much, if it's not possible for the world to ever actually be in a beneficial state. Huey Long. That's not wrong. Although it's been a bit since I've read much about Huey Long. Come here. Thank you. 500,000 years of history, never seen a species makes me doubt. We don't know that is the problem. Remember, we don't have a lot of history recorded. For all we know, it's happened many times and we just don't remember. We have records of societies in all kinds of regions where they were, by all regards, beneficial, polite, peaceful, and worked out. The only problem was just that their neighbors took advantage of that to exploit them and eventually exterminate them. Or, in some cases, they just collapsed for other unknown reasons. Humanity's a deserver. Someone's going to reply to that with a based, probably. Okay, there's a ladder there. I'm an idiot, I know what I should be doing. That. There we go. It's it happening and us not remembering is the same as it never happening. I'm not sure I'd agree. Because your argument is based on the idea that it is impossible for it to ever happen, which implies that it could never happen and thus can't happen in the future. However, if it happened in the past, that implies it could repeat in the future. For example, a modern society that is able to pull it off because of the whole idea that wars today are harder to pull off simply by nature of how modern society isn't as war friendly as it once was. And the idea of that kind of aggression is not always appreciated. You suck. I'm wondering if it'd be faster to just die at this point, because I forgot the fastest way back, and I'm wondering if I should just give myself killed to warp back faster. That makes the most sense. I'm close enough anyway. Here, yeah, hi, nom nom nom. Super easy to pull off. It depends on what the goal is for. And also depends on, for example, the whole idea of historical claims, etc., etc. For example, how Russia can get away with certain things simply because of Russia and because of their neighbors. But if Russia were to invade, say, anything in South America, they probably have everybody after them. I wasn't talking about that at all. I was not referring to anti-terrorism type stuff. Oh, come on, really? Mostly just referring to, at the end of the day, how there's a lot more criticism of warfare, and there's a lot more people who are against it, and less willing to be involved in it. Yeah. That is also true, at least as far as we're aware, which I could definitely see the idea that that is probably correct, that humans have only been living in towns for a short period of time. That, I think, is, even though for all we know, they might not have been. It might have been different in the past. I think it is quite likely that that is not the case. It is quite likely that this is the first time we've had this level of humans in groups together at the same time. I think that we can make a fair argument for. Hello, I found Horn. Hi. My Horn. Thank you, feathery friend. As you've no doubt seen, the land here is no longer safe. Not since the king of the swamp took root. But it's such a relief to have my Horn once more. As I promised, I'll go to the forest and we shall see if she hears your plea. Peace is 100% the way to go, yeah. Great Streets of Egypt has 11k years of breathing damage on. This is from a geologist. That is fair. And that's why they say that Egypt might be one of the oldest societies, at least of humans, like, around. How much has someone claimed that Egypt is the oldest nation state? And that's not correct, because nation states as an idea have not existed for very long. However, the idea that Egypt is one of the oldest civilizations is quite possible. Even though that's actually where we have record of humans and human-related species existing and possibly warring together. Because we have record that our ancestors and humans' relatives had battles. Yeah, I've also heard the arguments for China being the oldest as well. That is fair. We just don't know exactly when that... Do we actually have anything like dating that as well? You just had it for a second as far as we know. With Italy then or something? Or something Mediterranean? Inner Sith is screaming, peace is a lie, there is only passion. You're just excited for the KOTOR 2 Sith plate there, aren't you? The heart of the forest now open to you, but please be careful. She does not control these things within her which are corrupted. That is fair. It is entirely fair. To be fair, she didn't control it much here as well, either. You suck! You suck again! Stop hitting me! The problem with China is their ancient stuff is they have built in the same place for 10,000 years and it's lost because it keeps being raided because everybody and their grandma wants to own China. I watched a history yesterday about the history of Beijing's and Shanghai specifically, and the amount of times that Beijing was razed to the ground and rebuilt. Don't like to get into ancient stuff. Not wrong. Not wrong. Modern China is not friendly to ancient China. Mushroom Dungeon, the Forgotten Depths. He's watching me. Whoever the hell he is watching me. Ooh, new gate. Cool. I should have the flashing light warning on for this game. Give me a second, I'm gonna pull that up. Disney, please don't destroy KOTOR. Oh, I feel that. I feel that. Oh, that's right. I forgot when I imported it. That's what it said. Oopsies. But yeah, there's enough flashing lights. I'm gonna put up a flashing light warning. It's been going on long enough. There's only one China. Ignore Taiwan. I just realized it said, oh, because it's plural. Yeah, that's why. Flashing light warning. We'll put that up there, so it's obvious. West Taiwan. I love that joke. Okay, not entirely a joke, but it's enough. I love that line. That's a good line. In theory, there won't be ever too much that'll be over here. Disney make more furry trash. West Taiwan, yeah. West Taiwan is great. I love that. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna get box. Yeah, I saw someone say West Taiwan on Twitter once, and it's become one of my favorite, like, history geography jokes. East Tibet. Yeah, that one's good too. I'm sure Gandhi would have, not Gandhi, but the Dalai Lama would appreciate it. Gandhi's India. Oi, Ripper! What voice do I use for this guy? Oi, Ripper! What you doing here? When my grunt said there was some shady crow causing trouble in the ruins, I had to come see for myself. If you're here for my soul, then tough luck. I earned my power fair and square. I'm destroying the system your lords created. Modern China's fascist, we don't stand. Gotta hop off, kid just woke up. See y'all later. Sounds good, enjoy the babysitting. And I hope the taquitos were good. Game is good. It's all Tibet. Always has been. Good beat. Now I want to go play Europa and play as Tibet and conquer Ming. That, or I could go play Victoria and play as Tibet and conquer China. Or maybe Hearts of Iron and play as Tibet and conquer China. You know, there's options. That being said, I would need to actually wait. I'm not sure I want to play Victoria 2. I'm kind of just waiting on Victoria 3. Living Reaper. I hunger for souls. So we have another 4 dead friends. This is the second time that someone's mentioned my lords have given them over. The second time we found a door that hungers for souls that I'm guessing are going to be once again fed by the souls of my dead comrades. I'm noticing a pattern. Playing Vicky 2 as Tibet and getting to China would be insane, yeah. But I'm kind of just waiting on Vicky 3 at this point because I feel like I'd enjoyed that more than trying to learn Vicky 2. My biggest problem in Victoria 2 is it's the old Paradox style, where when you go into a sub-menu, it doesn't keep the map up. And I like the map up so I can see what the hell I'm doing. And at the end of the day, I'll just wait till Vicky 3's out, because I feel like that's going to be the better game than Vicky 2, hopefully. I've heard 2 can have a massive snowball effect, which, to be fair, from a Europa perspective player, is kind of hypocritical to complain about, but yeah, no. Also, is that it? Is there nothing more I can do in this room? Vicky 2 is old. Amen. Vicky 2 old style. Older than U4, indeed. I own it. I may or may not ever play it. I own that. I own Victoria 3. I own Crusader Kings 1, and obviously 2 because it was free to play. Playing as Mughals recently, have half of China as puppet Mongol hordes. Ha! Nice. Next Europa run I do after France, I'm actually thinking I'm going to try once I get a Mughal World Conquest, because I keep trying that, and I get closer every time, and I'm thinking now with the Research expansion, I could probably pull it off finally. Just to get one under my belt, say I did it. Can't go this way, need bombs, so this way will probably give me bombs. Yeah, conquering China is the part I never have a problem with Mughals. The problem is conquering Europe. Europe is the worst part of any world conflict, other than the Americas, depending on the way you're doing it. Because taking the Americas usually requires the truce breaks on Spain to make sure those colonial nations don't declare independence, thus forcing you to actually take them the hard way. Go, Jedi Brib, go! What? No, it's Sith Verb, because Red Saber. Yes, Sith Verb. Almost enough to actually go get another power-up. Nope, can't destroy those at all. Okay, the way forward. Do a bomb. Bomb good. So we got 2 ways to go here. I'll go bomb way first. Key. And yeah, Sith Verb. There you go. Oh, I see. Gotta do both at once. The trick is to pick up the HRE before conquering the. I did that in my last game, and it still was a problem. Because the problem was, what I found the best trick is break apart the HRE, and then give it like 100 years to consolidate into larger states, then kill it. The problem was, I only had 100 years left. If only in real life was easy, Red Saber is angry and Blue Saber equals good. Yep. Hard way several times, yeah. My France game would probably be way easier if I'd broken the HRE, but that's work. Need to go ally the HRE miners, which I could do. And they do give the worst aggressive expansion, the HRE miners do. I have 571. Especially because the HRE has 50% more aggressive expansion for any of their provinces you conquer, and the whole calling the Emperor in every single war is frustrating. You suck! I'm busy here! Just be Prussia and do the fuck y'all thing. I mean, as Prussia, I broke the HRE up in the Age of Reformation during the League War. I broke them up in less than a century into the game, and that was mostly impressive because not only was I Prussia, but I did it while the Ottomans and Russia, my allies, betrayed me and joined the other side. That was a really interesting campaign because I actually, for the first time ever, conquered all of Europe, and then formed Rome in the last 2 days just for the achievement because Rome is a downgrade from anything else in the game. They hate you even more if you vassalize HRE miners. Got that right. Yeah, I was a Prussia who owned all of Europe just because. Literally only the European borders, and then the parts you need to form Rome's the Southern Mediterranean. You can just throw a bunch of the AA on your vassal. That is correct. This way to the Frog King's domain. Fascinating. We're already... Oh. Hello, what the hell are you? So I should probably kill the fireball thing before it hits me back. Oh, you throw projectiles too, you bastard. Ow! I thought he'd be dead already. I guess I just assumed he'd die faster than he did. My mistake. Should have known better. There are just so many ways to go right now. I don't know which one's right. Just trying to remember all of them. What even are all my options? I can see this looping back around, so I think I'll do this first, because this looks like it may loop. Oh, what do you know? Yeah, I'm at the point now where I know the mechanics of Europa pretty well. It's mostly just the tediousness. Come on, me, just out for a swim. Care to join me, Reaper? Yeah. No? Probably wise decision. If I'm being honest, I was gonna try and drown you. See, I'm being honest. Surely that counts for something. What do you say, truce? No truce. You afraid I'm gonna murder your soul? Froggy. I see the trick here. This won't be hard. Beautiful. Is there another one? You suck. Okay, maybe this will be the problem. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it down there, use that, go up here. That makes sense. Okay. I did it the hard way. What do you know? Got key, another fried flash. Holy crap, this game has all the bright flashes. Really? There was another path over here? Well, what do you know? And to be fair, if I'm still streaming a couple hours, I might actually just go switch to Europa anyways for the funs of it. Because that's the rule, is I gotta play Europa on Sunday is strategy day, so if I'm still playing Sunday at midnight, and I want to keep going, I can't keep playing Death's Door, I gotta switch over to Europa. That's the rule. Can't go there, let's go up the ladder. Switch me here. And I figure if it's already past midnight, I should probably play something relatively easy, thus Europa. Not sure I want to start a new strategy game. It's a good rule, yep. And it's also good because I have noticed a lot of people who really enjoy watching Europa tend to not get on until after like midnight anyway. Death's Door is cool indeed. It is a good game. I'm enjoying it. But I have the feeling it's the kind of game where if I'm up past midnight, I probably will struggle a little more just because it's, let's just say I'm at the point now where this game probably requires more skill than Europa does. Let's just put it that way. Overgrown ruins, east of the door. Cool. Europa is an easier game for me than this is at this point. This requires things like reflexes. Europa just requires you to stare at a thing. Alright, pull lever, got that door. Nice, that ladder is done. And a gate is open. Fascinating, what's in there? I was gonna just head back, but now I gotta know what's in here. More ruins, huh? I'm loving how connected this game is. This is fascinating. Where do I drop here? Is it just... You found the Thunder Hammer. Weapon crackles unique soul energy. Open from the weapons menu. Heavy weapon imbued with lightning. Like we will about old gods, her name is also time. Only 2 swings, 1.2 damage. Even slower swing time. Good range. Nice. This was Yep, was streaming the other day during the UFC was very surprised. Yeah, I know. I saw him early this morning. We talked for a bit. It's like, wow, you up late. Let's see how this hammer goes. It's like, damn, aren't you in like... Yeah, I was figuring if he's like Germany or Austria or something like that. Yeah. Okay, does this work? Either way, not when I expected him to be awake. Nope. Nope, this does not work on these things. It's just an alternative weapon. It usually exchanges for me in German time. That is correct. But yeah, he was up rather... Like, I woke up this morning at 10 a.m. and he was screaming. It's like, oh, okay. I ain't gonna tell you no, but wow, didn't expect that. Alright, yeah. Because like, he's the kind of person I usually raid. But yeah, it seems a lot of people in Europe really enjoy the Europa games, which makes sense given the whole Sweden thing. Also, I don't like this weapon, and I'm switching back to the hammer. But that's what I mean. The problem is, even though it does more damage, it takes 3 blows to kill those guys still, which is a problem when I only have 2 swings, and then it has to reload because that's just how that sort of thing works. So nah, that hammer's not worth it. Frick. I've only got half health, and it's one of those. I'm at 1 health, and it's one of those. Ow! I got stuck on the wall. Damn it! Ow! Okay. I think we've established where the souls are hidden, though, because there's one right there, and I'm betting that if I'd gone north there would have been one there, too. So, I'm actually going to do that next, since it's closer. Sucks that I still can't break those bricks, but whatever. No, it wasn't this way. What's this way? Another battle arena, also probably this, but let's be real. Ow, you suck. Gotcha. Got 2. Way easier with just the 1. There we go. And that's that. Locked in a grimy dungeon. Not the way I wanted to go. Because once the forest was sealed off by the horn, to protect everything, the crows that were sent down there to reap the soul were stuck until the Frog King finally killed them. Or they were trapped in a room and couldn't escape. But with the dungeon locked, they had no way back up. Just what is the Lord of Doors up to? He keeps making these deals with people that keep costing them their lives. I am not happy about the idea of all my crow brethren being killed like this. And yeah, to answer the question of why he was still late streaming, it's possibly just doing what I do of just being up way too late. See the time I've streamed until 6 in the morning my time. Might just be something like that. Ow! Weird hitbox. Rude! I'm not done with him yet. Good. Ow, I'm gonna die to these things after beating the boss. That's not fun. Okay, 1 down. Yes! Good. Good. With the plus. Need that. Passages out of the dungeon are sealed, and the door back to the office has also somehow been sealed. We're trapped in here. I have to keep closing my eyes. Those pink flashes are too bright even for me. I can handle some flashes, but those... Damn. Oh, I know where we are. We came in here earlier, a couple hours ago. Or, I guess 1 hour ago, probably. We're right there. This way to the forest settlement. Cool. And yet we still don't have bomb. Would have sworn we'd have that by now. Because my guess is each of the 3 major areas unlocks a new power-up for you to go use it for exploring. So we had the witch's residence, and now we have the dungeons and the forest itself. And then we'll have wherever the beast lays. Beast lurks. Okay, this section. Okay, oh, he could throw those. He could lob them over. That's good to know. Ow, thought I was out of there in time. You suck. I need to remember to get out of the way because you do 2 hits. Ow. Ow! Why is there another one? Okay, good. No, not more! Don't tell me there's another one of him. I don't need another one. Is that everyone? No, there's still someone hiding. He's up stuck. He's stuck up here, isn't he? You little fart nugget. Good grief. I did not know where he was, and I was like, crap, where is he? And he almost hit me. That would have sucked to die on him after beating everything else. The Lord of Doors is losing the plot in their old age. How could they have let our doors malfunction like this? Ow. Such a bright light. Slime, yep. Slimy slime. Almost died to slime, but not quite. You liking the slime? Is it a good slime even though it looks ugly? Another bright light, but not as bad. Slime squid. Cool. Yep, I spent like an hour and a half making that yesterday. Never made any digital art before, so I had no idea what I was doing. I learned a lot about Paint.net through that thing. I am not a traditional artist, nor will I ever be. It was more just a... I'd pay someone else to do this, but that'd require... It's the whole thing of I'm not sure I want to be paying for artwork yet at the stage that I'm at, until the stream is theoretically bigger. Call him ugly, take that back right now. Okay, he's not ugly, I'm sorry. He's not an ugly slime. He's a cute slime. Glad you like him. He is friend-shaped. Yes, he is. Now, how do I get over there? Oh, I know what I gotta do. Oh, wait, no. Because the music still hasn't changed dramatically, so I'm assuming there's one more area after the frog dungeon, just like before. Yep. And my guess is I know where it is, too. Ow! I eat it and then I immediately take a hit. Naturally. Immediately take 2 hits. I would have died if it wasn't that thing. not sure. If there was a map of some kind that'd be helpful. Because I'm actually not quite sure where I should be going next. Because I'm pretty sure what's going to happen. What happened last time was after we got through the big door, it jumped us into a dungeon that actually gave us the power-up when we were done. And I'm guessing it's going to be the same here. But I need to rescue my 4 friends first, which is this way. And since I'm here, I might as well go through the door in full heal. And I have 800. I can get a good power up. So the question is, do I want fast? Nah, actually, I might just do that. Because I have 800, so I could increase my movement speed and dodge and cooldown, or I can just go strength. I'm going strength. Let's do even more damage. Strength feels like one that I can't go wrong with, given that it just does more melee damage, and that isn't a bad thing. Overgrown Ruins. Mushroom Dungeon. Might as well take the shortcut back. Noted that is the only door so far, and the last area had like 4 or 5, so yeah, I'm guessing there's a lot more that I haven't seen yet. In particular, there's that path that I can't access. Ow. Walked right into that. Living Reaper, I hunger for souls. You need one more. I got it. I gotcha. I gotcha. I just don't know quite where that one last one would be, because we got that one. So where is the next one? The fireball can chase you through the room? What? Did not expect that. Now that just is there, so presumably, because we go through here, and there's one over there, we got that one. Did I not go through here? Oh, I never did. This is the Frog God's place. I never went his way. Never did go towards the frog, so this is the one place I haven't gone yet, so presumably I can progress at least a little. Nope, need the bomb. Definitely need a bomb for sure in this area. So... Yep, the way to Frog King's domain. Way to the Frog King's domain. Way. Can't have none of that. Down there was the 3rd challenge room. Heal. So presumably this way is the 4th. But wait. Is it in there? Did I just miss an area? I think I just missed an area. Looks like I just... Okay, I missed an area. Oh, it's a shortcut back. Okay. That makes sense. So this is another path backwards. Can I talk to... Oh, I can talk to him. Oh, little bird, come cage, save me. Big frog lock, grunt here. Grunt clever too much. Grunt have good ideas, and big frog not like. Grunt no want bear big frog mask. Big frog no except grunt is individual. Grunt like me wear mask to show love to leader. But me no love big frog. I will free you. I guarantee I will come back and free you. Did not realize I could talk to you. So okay, that path is one that I can do. Oh, I have a key, don't I? That's where I needed to go. Alright, that's what I was missing. I told you already, cooking crow. You're out of luck if you think you'll be dethroning me. King of the swamp, that's what they call me. Since I took charge, the swamp has been cleaned up and now life thrives on the water. Those forest children and their mother were simply standing in the way of progress. It was nothing personal. I'm just adapting to the world as you and your lords have made it. Have you seen what it's like out there? It's a mess, a wasteland. Barely any new souls come into the world these days since your commission plugged up the system. Good job on that, Crooked Crow. Nothing personal. Just doing business. Boy, it sure smells bad down here. Yeah, that ain't my problem. I'm not the one hiding in the sewers. But that is interesting. What's the commission up to? Oh, great. Take care of the wizard boys first, because they get to be a pain in the ass. Okay, that's one dead. Can you open this for me? No, but you can cause me a problem. Ow! Right into the water. The swamp sounds like a perfectly electable person. Yeah, you probably get away with this country, let's be real. You suck! Oh, an archer, I haven't seen those in a while. There are 3 of them! There are 3 of them! 3! And I died at 1/2 the time. Oh, good God! That's kind of crazy. That's very crazy. That is incredibly crazy. I'm in trouble. Not get hit by those this time. Ow, I forgot to dodge. Should have dodged in the water, which to be fair would have been not that great. Kill the archers. Ow. Ow, that's not good. I don't suppose there's a heal in here someplace. No, I'm in trouble. Oh, nice, he's dead. Yeah, enemies like this are where the new strength upgrade starts to shine because they very clearly die faster. Okay, so do I when I get hit a bunch, but that's my fault for getting hit and not the... Yeah, okay. Yeah, getting hit a bunch by the little mook things was probably not good. But at least we have a shortcut right there, which makes life so much easier. I keep forgetting that this room even exists, and it's not just a straight path to the next one. Ow. Ow, I want you dead! Is that too much to ask? Ow! I need to dodge like earlier. I keep thinking, oh, I'll get one more hit in. Nope. My timing is all off. That and getting hit way too often early on is not helping. I keep thinking he's almost dead. I just gotta hit him one more time. Nope, he's not almost dead. You overestimate how fast you're killing him. Even with strength 3, it's not enough. I am just not fighting these things smart, and I need to be fighting smarter. That is 100% on me. Like that. Like that. Oh, good God. Not even worth it. Ugh. Stop standing there and getting hit. He will keep attacking as long as you're in the area. That's what it is. It's not a one attack or two attack. I think he literally just keeps attacking as long as I'm in the area, which means I need to be attacking and getting out of the way. That's what it is. Ow! I did not expect that to actually hit me. Dude, please! I am not doing well. Ugh, stop trying to get 3 hits in. You can't. That's not how these guys fight. Because they don't flinch. Some enemies flinch, like the mages flinch. These guys don't flinch. I need to stop thinking they do. That is 100% on me and just fighting these guys like I can tank the hits. This is not a tanking game. This is a hit and run game. And I keep thinking just one more hit, and when you only get 4 hits, you can't just one more hit. You gotta save those hits for screwing up. That. What the? Oh, BS, whatever that was. Or more specifically, the fact that it hit me, because I did not see that hitting me until I got hit by the explosion. I think that one might have been a glitch, maybe. Or I just completely missed it, it's possible. And to be fair, it was still only 1 out of 4 hits, since one of them was still screwing up. Wow, I suck at fighting these things. I do think I figured them out, though. I do think the problem is just... It's not that they always do 1 or 2 hits, it's that they keep attacking you as long as you're within range. So if you keep standing there, they will gladly just keep hitting you and not move around. There we go. Where'd you go? Stop standing there and taking hits. There we go. Learn to fight, dude. Meaning me. Good grief. Stuck to rot for an eternity in a dungeon. There's nothing down here but grime, filth, and little frogs. And the door is open for another fight that'll kick my ass. Yay! Let's get my ass kicked. There's another bomb thing here. There are so many bomb things here. I didn't even get it right. Freh. There we go. Not that that probably matters all that much, because I'm sure by the time I visit here again I'll have bomb. Appreciate it. And I'll ladder back up. But this is probably... fine. What? At least those guys die faster now, so that's cool. But I don't have bombs, so I still can't. Oh, I see. There's the bomb. There we go. And this is back over here. Back in this area. It does all connect. So then where does that key go? Not anyone here. No, this is probably the best way to go, because that's back to the door. We have the key. And we can go up into the door that eats me. Be wary, little Reaper. Alright, door back to the door room. Back to the death room, probably. Yep. And that'll be for Bob. Yeah, we already know what this does. It's gonna eat me and throw me into a combat challenge. I'm gonna lose over and over again. He's like, not this time? Nope. Nom 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 nom. Every chest is a mimic. So far there have only been two, and they've both been mimics. Alright, how am I getting my ass handed to me this time? Avarice. Well, to start, it's my old arch nemesis. And slimes. Oh yeah, there weren't slimes this time last time, because the slimes were in the next part of the dungeon. Which we haven't explored yet. So yeah, the slimes are new. for this section. Ow. Phase 1 down. Phase 2 going horribly, and I'm going to die to phase 2. Holy crap, he's got more than 3 hits. He's not a normal archer. Damn. Dorzeski, try again? Yes. I'm so glad they just drop you right here. That makes things so much easier. You can just go. You're in my way. Go. Let's see what's going on with this archer here. Archer's dead. There we go, he's dead. Oh, hey, you guys. You haven't even listened in a while. That's 3. Ooh. Oh, that's nasty. Get rid of you immediately. No desire to see. He's not even dead. There we go. Yeah, after the first round had the worst enemy, to be honest. Although the new archer and the new mage are cool and scary. Bomb. Bomb. A gift to a fellow crow to aid you in your quest. Definitely not the voice I used last time, but that's okay because they're probably not the same people. Crow just like, what? For me? You shouldn't have. Bomb spell! Okay, it's literally just called bomb. Number 3. Bomb. Knock me on my butt. Oh no, I see what it is. It's if I use it too soon, it knocks me on my butt. It hurts me, okay. So it does do friendly fire damage. That is good to know. Last time it was the Alphys voice. Ha! Oh, and bomb uses 2 energy. Oh. I don't like that. A gift for a fellow crow. Use it wisely. There we go. So, does AoE damage cost 2 energy? Bomb, everyone. It's gonna be scary. And the door down. You've been all over the place, haven't you? Your doors are everywhere. A little bit turned me, you even opened the big boss's office at one point. What a strange thing. I wonder if someone tampered with your door. Oh, sorry. That laugh sounded a bit ominous. Got that right. It's very ominous. Aragorn, welcome to game. We're fighting for scraps these days. Squish nerd. Poor nerd. There's not enough assignments to go around and only a handful of his reapers left in service. I've heard whispers there may be some crows living free outside the commission. You mean dead? I wonder if we'd like to live free, knowing that you're gonna die. Yeah, they're dead. They're murdered by the boss. The boss is definitely not the good guy here. And I'm very curious to know what's going on there. How is your day been? I'm out of energy. Two. So take the elevator back up. Can I stab you for energy? No. Elevator. Classic dumbbell elevator. Dumbbell on the outside. Don't touch. And that should give me what I need. Yes. So fire will probably remain my main combat spell because I like the versatility of it. It does about the same damage as arrow, but goes through enemies, which is really nice. Arrows are just completely outclassed in every way by fire. I think the only advantage is that they don't do fire damage, which will occasionally be useful. But for the most part, I can't see myself ever wanting to use arrows again. 500. How's your day been, Aragorn? You found a scale model of an ancient Reaper door. It doesn't function. It's probably made long ago as a mock-up for the doors. Huh. This appears to be a Reaper's abandoned logbook. My colleague failed to return to a routine mission. I tried heading through his door to check on him, but it was sealed shut. Orders were over management, apparently. Sent an query to head office, but they insisted this was normal procedure and the case was closed. Still no word from my colleague. He mentioned he was being assigned to assist a powerful witch with some research last time we had lunch. He said he was a bit worried before it started, but it turns out she was quite a nice old lady. I wonder if she had anything to do with the closure. I hope he's alright. Probably not. Ooh, shiny thing. Ancient door scale model. The scale model of the door was originally used by the Reapers. This first technology was quite inefficient, requiring numerous rustles to power. It eventually replaced by the newer models we see today. Magical Forest Horn. The horn is a popular instrument among the forest dwellers for its ability to harmonize with the profound resonance of the forest. In the right hand, this instrument can create a dialogue with nature, allowing some degree of control over nearby plant life. Yeah. So in other words, all it does is make the plants grow. Which is fine. Not a bad thing. Alright. This is just a dead end for now, though I would be surprised if doors appear here later. This I can get to now. Cool. And I have enough energy for the final 600 pickup. And also, you found a surveillance device. I don't think that's a surveillance device, I think that's a gramophone. It looks like someone's been spying on the commission. Are you sure that's what that is? This device looks like it was planted here to spy on the activities of the Reapers in the Hall of Doors. Whoever places it seems to listen to Commission's communications, and would almost certainly know of any souls assigned to Reapers. Huh, maybe it is a communication device. It looks like a gramophone, though. Appears to be Reaper's abandoned logbook. The recent seismic event has sent upper management into a frenzy. We would urge to scrub all mentions of it from records and close all active assignments in the region. I can't in good conscience let all those Reapers remain cut off from the Commission and their homes. I'm going to try to make my way into the vicinity to see if I can help them. If I get back in one piece, I'll update my logs to indicate what I found. There are no more entries in this journal. So they're dead too, huh? Noticing a lot of dead people in this storyline. Also, let's switch back to the green weapon. Yeah, not a fan of the blue. Green's cool. Green and red are cool. So here's my green lightsaber buddies. Here's my two little green light daggers. Alright. Ooh, cool, little green thing. What is this thing? Why does it just stare at me? So joyful, so carefree, so annoying. I'll put a call into pest control. Hey, be nice to the little green thing. Welcome to Sova. Would you like to increase your combat abilities? Yes. Let's charge attacks faster. These funny little forest sprites can appear out of nowhere. It's caused quite the stir around the office. I've had to file a lot of paperwork through the infestation. It's great. I think this one likes me. I always wanted a pet, but they don't let animals in the office. That sucks. Alright, and I think we know where to go next. Mushroom Dungeon. Passageway into the Frog King's lair. Ooh, scary. And And now we head back in here because for some reason it doesn't full heal. Alright, now it's full heal. Though I'm still out of energy for magic. Alright. First step. I'm out of mana. Wait, I could just get some right here. Little bird say grunt. Grunt be forever. Think, little bird. Little bird say... Yeah, okay. You go. You suck. Okay, so there's gotta be a way down there somehow. Because that's accessible only through bomb, and I also already have the key. So there's gotta be some way, which for the looks of it is this way. Yep, okay, here we go. And we even have the key. Beautiful. Which gets us... You found a corrupted antler. Wonder what creatures used to be attached to. A large antler ridden with deformations. It must have belonged to a formidable beast. It appears to have broken off some creature's head into the struggle before its owner plunged the pits below. It looks oddly familiar. Who do we know who had an antler? Interesting. Don't remember personally. But hey, we can bomb things on our own now without relying upon other things. Does bomb instant kill? Yes. Cool. Let's bomb through the sign. Nothing. Fascinating. It does nothing to the sign. Those guys take 4 hits to kill, which is annoying, but at least the green thing's fast enough that it works still. Yeah, I'm amused the sword cuts those open, but the bomb does nothing to them. Alright, let's see what badass new theme awaits us. Ha! The crooked crow doesn't give up easily! Ha! You know, out there I was a tiny frog in a big pot, but here I'm the top of the food chain, and my favorite meal is all those delicious stray souls. You got your work cut out for you, Reaper. My subjects will see to that. Then it's crow pie for supper, and trifle for dessert. Our chef makes fantastic trifle. No, I want trifle. Can I have some trifle? It's kind of like trifle. It's bomb. Bomb. Flooded fortress, the Frog King's domain. Is there no music? Or is there no music yet? Okay, that's 4. There's something in the background. Aw, that's pretty. Okay, so yeah, fire doesn't affect these things. Gotta use the arrows. Ow! That's not good. Could use a heal. Didn't figure the Frog King would have pretty music, but it's nice. I like. Oopsies. Take that. Body just there, drowned. Nope, not low enough. Sure, we'll get there eventually. Teleportation circle I can't access yet. That might not be, to be fair, that might not be the fourth spell, only because that would be a one you can only use in certain areas. So maybe the grappling hook is the fourth spell, but that'd be weird because then it would cost a mana to use grappling hook, which feels not quite right to me. Oh, frick. And slow drown. Rip. And at least they're nice enough to put us right here. Hey, we have full health this time versus 2. That's a plus. And the areas at least stay activated just like they did last time. That's also nice. As Bird walk through creepy domain. Yeah, don't walk off cliff. No walls here, so walking off the cliff is very easy. Frick! Should have turned around. Because the only way to cancel out of a range attack is to attack normal. Okay. This lets me go on. I can't because it's not. Yeah. So. Oh. Guess I can. Can't do that, though. Can I do this one? No, that almost kills me. I'm gonna probably die. Need to restart. Get my health back on. There's no heal that I found yet. And I'm guessing the solution is kind of be another shoot an arrow at a thing. But I don't know where yet. Okay, those I can't go up on, the green ones. Didn't mean to waste it, but it's not like there's a shortage of crap to destroy on it. So not there. Not there, so let's go this way. That one did not save. That is interesting. Oh, I didn't go this way, did I? Oh, okay. Goofy. Oh, did it not damage me? That's weird. No, that was burst damage taken, that's why. It must have damaged me, but by the time I looked at it, I already had, so that must have been the first one taken. That would do it. Frog King's Septa. Can't stab it yet. That lowers those, okay. Okay, so the only way to progress forward is to go back here. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll go back and actually do some exploring after I've gotten the 3 major power-ups. That feels like the right time to go looking for more stuff. Once I'm actually able to do full exploring with like the grappling hook and whatever you get otherwise. Okay, so I haven't been up there yet because there's an enemy. There's a door. Okay. There's a door in this area. Let's go over there quickly. An intruder! And they're intruding! You got this flagrant trespass! You're done for now, little bird. You're gonna get crushed! You are certainly persistent, crooked crow. You like my armor? It was a size too small, but I think I make it work. Can you believe I found it just lying around on a nearby corpse? You are just another bleeding heart standing in the way of my progress. This is the natural order. The strong survive. Hop on, small fry. You heard him. Hop on. I sure hope I don't end up between those chubby green cheeks. Hello, new door. Go through new door. I think this is what I gotta do for save points, so... There we go. Flooded Fortress. The first door in the, well, Flooded Fortress. Hello. I am sorry, but I must lay waste to your civilization. This is the end for you. Bomb good. I like. Bomb go boom boom. Ow. Rude. Take that. Bye. Do I need the healthy? Yeah, I'll give it an attack or two that I take. Like this one! Or that one! Hello. Yeah, let's go take that now. Two very stupid hits. Alright, activate this. Which drops a ladder, perfect. Allowing me to press on things. Now, rude. Miss. They probably heard it, but yeah, it won't kill a guy of that caliber. Okay. I thought you were in the water for a second. If they can't move, so they're easy targets. Usually. we go. That creates a path back. Ow! There we go. Ow! I saw them running and I was like, oh, I have attack. Oh, right, I have bomb. Frick. That was my bad. I forgot I had the bomb. I was thinking I had something else. Two yet has a point power back. You suck. You're not dead yet. That is annoying to me. Eat quickly. Thank you. There we go. Ladder. Nice, only a couple of bombs kills him. That makes my life easier. You suck. Ow. Alright, that makes a passage this way. Yeah, you suck so much. Ah! Saw that happening and it still happened. Saw that coming and it still happened. And I still have more to explore down that path. There's another path I could go down too, though. I might do that quickly. Maybe brain from a little too much. That didn't end well. I feel like I went down that path. All those sorts of things ago, so probably it is the left path, and then it was a deviation off the left path. Oh, I see what I... No, it's right here, okay. That made a bridge. Ah, that made a bridge back. That's what that was. So this path theoretically. Ow. Yep. Saw that coming. Yeah, the problem is now with no map, I'm actually kind of lost where the hell I went. Or more specifically, where I have not went. Really? Just immediately fall in the water. That was my fault. That was me mistaken. Why am I still fighting you all? I don't need to. Oh, because last time I died because you kept following me. No, switch. Oh, that's right. You I can ignore, but you follow me. Stop. Nobody asked you to do that. No. Those doesn't have a melee attack, which technically makes them a little easier. Okay. Oh, okay, that's what this is. Nice little heal. Full health, full mana for whatever comes next. Ow, a third time. That's not good. I don't need to be doing that much owing. There's no way back up there for that heal, is there? But like, no, but nope. Looks like there's supposed to be a ladder here, but there isn't, so that sucks. So it's just press onwards. This is just backwards. Okay, this is where I came from, so that's nice. His only attacks are jump and boomerang, so actually he's a pretty weak enemy by comparison. There we go. Now I could loop all the way back around. Technically an option that I think I'll take, because everything should be dead, so this should be safe to go back and get that heal that I made there. And it's probably the safest option at the moment. As opposed to going onwards and risking death, because I have no clue what's up next. There we go. Safe spot. Then progress onwards. Onwards not being this direction. But that's all I can do. Huh. Where do I go? Big boy Gingy, welcome. What's up? Hi Pikachu. How you doing? We're playing Death's Door. I am Burp. I stab things with weapons. Oh, I'm dumb. I know where to go next. Let's see where to go next. This way. See, we Burp. And everything wants this day. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Mock has the new slime. I made it myself. Ow. There was being yelled at a lot and thought Cyber doing what he's not supposed to, or just it's not, the game's not going great. Oh, is it Fortnite? And that's what's going on, is the Fortnite co-op is going like a thing? I don't know, I'm no expert on the Fortnites. Oops. Did not mean to press cap lock. Sea of Thieves. Oh, okay. I've never played. Nothing against it, I've just never played it. And yeah, I can see how that'd be a bit uncomfortable. So, welcome. No one getting yelled at here. All we're doing is fighting monsters and getting our butt handed to it half the time. I might switch back to the red weapon. That one could go on me a little better. There we go. Stop teleporting, you bastard. Ow! Get my head bashed in. Not fun. Not cool. I like that head. It's the only one I've got. I know some of you monsters have more than one head, but I don't. a big freaking hammer. There we go. Oh, how do you like my new overlay? Brand new today. I put a lot of work into it. You can tell because of the amazing color schemes. And something's chugging. Oh wow, that got chuggy suddenly. Oh nice. Friend. Yes. Friend. Thief. Friend. Hello, everything must be dead. And the doors are up. Ow! That was not smart of me. That was even stupider of me. And I'm dead. Ah, frick. I think that one's a shortcut back, I'll say. I should have checked that first before going onwards, because that's probably a shortcut back. Let's find out. Oh, so I'm going to change back to the red sword for now. I kind of like that one a little better. You suck. Yep, okay, I was right. That was just a straight shortcut. Perfect. We're right where we left off. I love when this game does that. Oh, there was a heal right there, really. It looks like I'm going to need it anyway. Playing like this. Oh yeah, definitely. Wow, the music got creepy suddenly. No idea what's going on there. Ah! I'm done. You suck. Yeah, you suck too. Yes, you can all suck together. Okay, you're dead. Get you out of the way because you're obnoxious. Yep, you're dead. Okay, you're good. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Only one health left, but what you gonna do? Hit him so hard he T-posed when he died. Exactly. That's the way you do it. Alright. I think we've arrived. Oh wait, no, I should go through the door. Before I forget. And they'll let me full heal too, because I think we have arrived at the domain of the Frog King. Do we have the money for an upgrade? Yes, I do. Let's go get one more upgrade quickly. Oh wait, no, that's right. They're all at 600 now, so now it's going to be 800 to upgrade. Never mind. Because I think they're all level 2 now, so... Yep, never mind. No upgrades. I need 800 to get the next upgrade. Throne of the Frog King. Yep, we are at the boss. Nice. Let's see how bad this is this time. Cricket Crow! Clearly my grunts have failed to teach you a lesson, so you'll have to do it myself. After I'm done with you, I'll use your feathers to buff my armor and make it all shiny. I'll be the most handsome creature under the shadow of the door. All right, squishy time! king of the swamp, guardian of the flooded fortress, lord of his domain, ruler of all he surveys, champion of the people, keeper of the five O's, first of a day, second of other name, he is without middle or initial or mercy, destroyer of all his countries, powerful ruler, can I Nope. I couldn't. That got a little out of hand. Interesting. So he destroys the ground and then... Ah, that, ooh. And then his saber restores the land. With the bomb. That's great. What other attacks he got? He's just focusing around so far? Yeah, you're not very threatening so far. You got anything better than this? That's all you're doing so far. The only damage I've taken so far was the one time I just rolled off the cliff. That's not great so far for you, boss. Unless... he's not flashing, he's not getting any damage. I gotta... Oh, there's a gimmick. Okay, gotta hit him in the butt. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I was hitting him in the front and that doesn't work. So it's butt attack. Butt pogo sticking. I don't know what you were saying there, it's all asterisks. Holy, that's a big boy. No wonder he said the armor was too small for him. That's a big frog. Holy jeez. That's not good. That's not a good sign. He's a big boy. It's a clip. Oh, you made a clip and it... Oh, I see. Here, give me a second. I know what I can do. I'll give you permission to post clips. Give me 1 second. I have never done this in... I switched to Stream Elements today, and I've never done this in Stream Elements before. Can I do this from here? I do not know how to do this from here. Huh. Might be able to in OBS. Do it from here? Do I have to go all the way to the menu and manually add? Ugh. Yep. Okay, 1 second. Very brief intermission where I'm still here, but I'm messing with thing. Do. There you go. Now you should be able to post link. I trust you will handle this responsibly. And if you can't handle it responsibly, then we'll fix that. But there you go. Yeah, the only thing that VIP can do special that non-VIP can't do is post links. And I think actually that's about it. Everything else is the same. Oh, so I noticed you not bothered to do that yet. Oh, that's not good. We're running out of places to stand. This isn't good. There we go. Ouch. Not good. So far, though, I'd say this fight's probably easier than the witch was. Figured out what I'm doing pretty quickly, and all my hits so far have been for the first time an attack happened, when I wasn't yet used to it. Hello, Froggy. Froggy King, turn around. Ah! I'm dead. Damn it! And yeah, I'll look at clip a little later. Gotta do this quickly first. I guess I still gotta do phase 1 first, probably. To be fair, now that I know what to do, phase 1's gonna be too hard. Get in the water. You like water, right? Yep. Oh, I see. Does 4 hits because it's slowly taking his armor off. Every time I hit it from behind, I'm cutting the straps in his armor. Yep. 1 strap left, probably. Or is that it? Might be it. His ever protects him, but not from the buttocks. What you gonna do? Ow! Rude! Rude! Oh, I can't do that. Ah! Stop hiding right off the edge. Rudeness. There we go. Ah! My bad. Probably gonna die this time just because of that. Miss, really? That is not a good time to miss. Go. Yep. Okay. Don't fall in, don't fall in. Not now. Now would be a bad time to fall in. Don't get greedy. Ah! Almost! He's definitely almost dead. This time should be it. This time should be it. Damn it. Damn it. Alright. Show that Froggy King figured. Yeah, so far I think the attack pattern is just going to be this over and over again, but he just keeps doing more of it, unless there is a third phase of some kind. Right, I should have done that. Not bad. I don't know if the bomb's actually hurting him, to be honest. Yeah, the fact that I can replace the floor makes this fight so much easier. Grip the fingers when he starts breathing in tiles. That's fair. The problem is also when he's breathing in, as you can see, I'm having to actually run away or I get stuck towards the bottom. So if I'm running that way, I will probably fall off and take damage, which is not ideal. Otherwise, I would, to be fair. But that just happens to be a thing that could possibly get me killed, and I don't want to do that. Get that. Is he dead already? Did I just do that with no damage third try? Definitely easier than the Urn, or the Witch of Urn. Witch of Urns. There we go. Definitely an easier boss. Boss down. Second one, definitely the easier one. Because yeah, once I figured him out, not a problem. The Witch Urn still had some attacks that actually caught me off guard. We gather here today to mourn the passing of the Frog King. A bold and fearless leader, he was persecuted for his simple desire to place all under the forest under his rule, and occasionally, his bottom. His reign has ended, and his absence will be felt across the swamp. Bow your head in remembrance, pay your last respects. His time in this world is over. Screw you, dude. The Witch I could tolerate a little more than you also. You were just ass. Literally in some cases. Some will be pleased the king is dead, but a life is a life, and in death we are all unified. Yeah. This is a game. This is a game about death. To be fair, I brought, what's it called? I've also got Spiritfarer today, and that's also that, so that's interesting. You found a giant arrowhead. I want to be the receiving end of each one of these. Ooh, shiny. Giant arrowhead. This arrowhead would have been much too large for a normal bow. You sense latent soul energy contained inside. The priest owner must imbue it with some of his soul in order to prevent or delay his death. In this aspect, it is the direct forerunner of the weapons the modern Reapers use themselves. Fascinating. I also love how I have 2 out of 3 giant souls, but still only have 1 each of the heart item or the Ma item. Also, Kitty, did you just did that, you know? Oh, great. He looks so much more peaceful lying there like this. Alright, let's see what goes wrong this time. We're gonna end up with the Lord of Doors again? Calling it. No! Interesting. Hall of Doors, Ripping Commission Headquarters. Welcome to solo. Don't increase your combat abilities. Yes. Ooh, I could afford more strength. That's tempting. Do it. Kill. More kill. What is this thing? And why does it just stare at me so joyful and carefree, so annoying? Do you talk about the giant soul I just got? I'm gonna call it the pest control. I like them though. And then my desk is just getting covered in crap. Alright. Back to the Lost Cemetery. Let's see where I can go now. There. No, that's open. Where's the bomb area? Nice. Is there anywhere I can bomb now that I couldn't bomb before, probably? I imagine there's a way you could play this where all you do is you go in, you get the power up, and then you leave and go to the next one, so you can do the bosses out of order. I imagine that there's a way you could do that. You could totally do that. And it'd be kind of funny, too, to do that out of order. Maybe another playthrough someday. Could be fun. Or I'm just like, yep, I go just far enough into the dungeon to get the power up, and then I leave and go to the next one. That'd be funny. Hello. You've certainly been keeping me busy. However, it's nice to have something to focus on. Sending the dead on their journey may sound like a depressing task, but it gives me a sense of purpose. Okay, save. Can't go in that room. Don't have that key yet. Oh, this is the way to the witch. Never mind, I don't want to go this way. I already went this way. That's why it looks so familiar. Yeah, I can do this now. Fair enough, it's there. Got one left, okay. That's good. Another astounding victory! I'm impressed by your courage and vigor, Fledgling. Once again, I reiterate, I've been stuck here for such a long time and accomplished so little in comparison to you. You've given this old crow hope for the first time in many, many years. Just one more giant soul and we can open death's door. I suggest you head west. At top the mountain, you'll meet an ancient feast of untold years. Cool. Let us be off. I believe this might be west? Maybe? No. That door is something. This way? Ah, yes. New. Stranded sailor. Hidden secret lies within the... Left is west. Indeed. But the problem is I had to go down to go west. So that required fire, and presumably will also require bomb. Or perhaps not. So I'm impressed. It would theoretically let you do it with just fire. You could go to this boss next. That is interesting. We have two again. Okay, it's nice. Well, another grappling hook problem, looks like. Why do they look like statues? Oh, Pothead! Hello again, big face! How goes your adventure? I'd like to stop by the Shredded Sailor to refresh my stocks of Jefferson's delicious soup. He's an odd fellow, but a great chef. Nope. Must be already lit. It's fair. Woohoo! Yay! You found an adventurer journal. Very damn. The same pages seem to be stuck together. This waterlogged old journal's early chapters describe a tale of being sucked through a giant door into the sea and having to start a new life stranded on top of a mountain. Later chapters talk a lot about the writer's friendship with a squid. I love how that's a shiny thing, despite being very clearly not shiny. Like, I'm pretty sure journals are not shiny. Could be wrong. And hey look, a door to the stranded sailor. Nice. I'll go through there just to have a checkpoint. I'm guessing it'll be a new path entirely that I've never been to before. Yep, I'm not surprised at this one. That's kind of what I was expecting. This is the only one I haven't had any doors down yet other than the top one. Hello again, little bird. Clever too much. Me come far, wide, see many things. World outside very beautiful. Love, laugh, live. That all grunt want. And we got the grunt's old mask. Grunt is loyal to a new leader now. Huh. Fascinating. This mask is carved to resemble the Frog King. Many of the grunts that inhabit this land are feeble of mind, desiring a leader to give them purpose. They often show loyalty making and wearing a mask in their image. Such as the unwavering bond between a grunt and leaders almost resembles a cult. Almost a sin. So we have the mountaintops via Castle Loxton. Okay, so that's the last direction we're going. Those have got to be grappling hook related. That's got to be what those are for. I suppose it's the only way left to go. Never mind. I guess it's not just the last, but it's the only. Well, up the mountain we go. Well, hello there, fellow traveler. Go on, tell all. How's your adventure going? Got any exciting tales I can knock us out a song about? Reason being, off here in these mountains to seek inspiration from an next masterpiece. I heard a monster lives up on the mountaintop. Can you believe it? That drunk fellow outside the stranded sailor says he lost his love to the beast. Fancy that. The way I see it, there's gonna be one heck of an epic battle awaiting me up ahead. If only I could smash up these blasted rocks blocking the path. Heh, funny you should mention that. I don't have a better name. I forgot that it costs 2. Look at that, mate! You smashed it! You're a legend! You might have been inspiration for my next big tune. Yeah, if it's all the same to you, I might just tag along on your adventure. See you around? Oh, cool, he's the new pothead. Nice. Pothead not meaning he's like a marijuana smoker. Pothead, it was an NPC whose name is actually Pothead because his head is a pot. And he joined us in the first leg of the dungeon. Or game. Or whatever. First dungeon of the game, there we go. That leads in someplace, so we shall leave it be for now. The music also went away, implying that it is dark. Eerie. Nothing, not much hidden here so far. There we go, another life seed. Does that do both ladders? Just the one. That does the other one. Nothing. Ah, well. And that was that. Can't go over there. Not yet. So I do believe the only path forward is this one. Guess a Luxlow, the frozen forest. There's a gate in there. What the? No, it just is the more it just remorphed. That's weird, but okay. And we'll go through that door just to set up a checkpoint. 2 in a row, that's quick. So one to the Drunken Sailor and then one over here. Castle Lockstone. Hey again, pal. Hope you don't mind me tagging along. Seems like we need to find a way through this old fortress when we get up that mountain. Well, I say we, I mean you. I'll just hang around and work on the lyrics for the next banging tune. Let me know if you can find a way up. Yeah, that checks out. We gotta do all the work and everybody else just hangs around. To be honest, though, I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna leave this for next week. We finished a dungeon, we've got to the next one, and to be honest, I'm kind of tired. I was gonna just say, hey, I'll stay up and do some Europa, but I'm not sure I'm up for it. I think I might just go to bed. I think that might be all for tonight. Weird as it is to say for a Saturday, but I might be done at 11:30. Show Davey the clip. Nice. I'll look at it after stream, which shouldn't be too long from now. Yep. Nothing new. I hope you enjoyed it. Alright. Turn your last used door, proceed. You absolutely love it. I'm glad. Alright. Yeah, I'm oddly tired. I don't know what it is. Just for today, yeah. Might just be recovering from the week. It was a sleepy week. Thank you, everybody, for joining, as always. It is appreciated. I'm glad that you're able to enjoy the stream with me. I don't know. Glad you guys enjoy the stream, as always. All right. Schedule tomorrow is Strategy Day. Strategy Sunday. I'm going to try playing a new game. I've got a few strategy RPGs I want to try. I'm debating which one I'm going to jump into, but it's going to be one of them, something new. Tuesday, we'll continue Knights of the Old Republic. Thursday, we'll continue and probably finish There Is No Game and then start something else. And then on Saturday, we'll continue more of Death's Door. My guess is we'll probably get to the third area. I appreciate everybody coming to hang out. It's always a pleasure and it's always a fun time. But yep, it's time to go to bed. It's just, I'm sleepy. Who's live now? Is there anybody I could raid? Anyone that could be fun? Huh. I don't get a chance to raid them very often. I might do that. I mean, that's not true. I raid them pretty frequently. I raided them last time. I raid him not too often. Is anyone playing Death's Door? Go raid someone new. I haven't done that in a while. 106 viewers. Not surprising. Okay, someone who's almost done with the game. That's not a good idea. Someone who is Chinese, so can't do that. Me, so can't do that. I'm just going based on screenshots. Someone who looks like they're not as far in the game as we are. Yeah, here we go. Someone who's brand new in the game. That could be fun. I was trying to remember what the message I wanted to use was. I had a stream message I wanted to use. Something Mock said earlier. Toes are a lie or something like that. Toes are a human construct. There we are. Toes are a human construct. That's what it was. So yes, we're going to go raid somebody brand new who I've never raided before, but this could be fun. Going to raid channel Felix TC, who's also playing Death's Door, and looks like they're about where we were last week. If you want to do a raid message, we'll do toes are a human construct. And if not, just show some emotes or just say hi. Thank you everybody for joining me. It is always a pleasure. Good time, good stream. I appreciate it, all of you guys, and it's always a good time. I'll see you around. Later.